It's it's a song from the second Death album, which is uh the second album from the world's greatest metal band, D-COG. They were also once the sixth largest economy in the world.
They were not the sixth largest economy in
They
the
were
world.
indeed the sixth according in the cartoon.
Oh,
It's that band from Metalocalypse.
oh, okay.
Yeah, which I'm afraid Brendan Small will not get to finish. Sigh. It was one of those planned HBO Max exclusive
Oh,
movies. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. However, I do know what's going to happen today, and it's going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse Podcast Network and YouTube channel. Please follow us on whatever podcast app you might be listening to on, and of course, subscribe on the YouTube channel if you are watching us there. Check out the website lrmonline.com every day for all entertainment news, needs, and opinions. I'm Kyle. That's Manny, and boy, did we kick a hornet's nest yesterday, Manny.
do we really?
Yeah,
Or
I'm not quite sure what people were more upset about. I know some were disappointed that we have concerns about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Others seem to think our concerns come from nefarious places, even sexist places. Manny, we apparently are anti-woman. I wasn't aware of this, but apparently we are. I actually wrote kind of like a monologue, so to speak, because I wanted to I wanted to address some context people might be missing due to, not necessarily following the Daily Cup of Genre, even though it's really easy to do. Hit that subscribe button or follow button. So I kind of wanted to start off by saying, in the context of yesterday and some comments about you and I wondering, and especially in the last couple of years, whether or not there are some that are looking out there to replace men in certain roles, not just add females to, but legitimately remove the male from the equation or lower them down on the totem pole. Not every female-led project is that way. Not even every female-led project that actually had a male lead in a prior version is necessarily one of these acts of vengeance. So two wrongs don't make a right, though. It never has. It never will. Seeking vengeance only creates problems in the future for the person seeking revenge. I mean, you're gonna piss somebody off that had nothing to do with what you're angry about, and then they'll repeat the cycle. We can't go back in time. We can't correct past mistakes, but we can make today, tomorrow, better for everyone. That's progress. That's what we're supposed to do. That's the right thing to do, right? You're not supposed to, when you get into a position of power from a position of no power, you're not supposed to then put your thumb on your former oppressors. You're supposed to make everything better. Of course, punishing people that were wrong legally and stuff like that. This is, we're keep it in context. So in the past, we had behaviors and social norms that were deemed damaging to some groups, and now similar negativity is being added to the alleged oppressors from the past. And I only say alleged because it's not that there was no oppression. There was. I'm saying it's down to individual perceptions, and it's very nuanced, right? Some people are much more sensitive to a satire and it's stereotyping versus someone else that sees it only as satire. So let's take our touchy subject from yesterday, females in certain roles and things like that. Negative body images, Barbie, Baywatch actors, lack of as many strong, intelligent, well-written female leads outside of certain genres, stereotyping like sexualization, the blonde bimbo thing, the angry sitcom wife and mother-in-law, all, you know, bad negative things, right? And not to mention legitimate institutional barriers to entertainment for women getting into, you know, writers, directors, producing, all that. It all happened, and it was harmful. We were told it was harmful, and it was visibly harmful to many young women and girls. Tracking, got it. Society was told it needed to change many of these things to do better, and well, I think we have a lot. There's always work to do. We're human, and humans suck. I don't know if everyone's realized that or not, but they do. But we've come pretty far in 30 years. There's females in like every C-suite in studios, you know, chief operating, chief financial, chief executive. In almost every major studio, there's a female in some high-end position. Big producer names. When you talk about biggest producers today, two names are going to float to the top: Kathleen Kennedy, Amy Pascal. Regardless of how you feel about their projects, the fact is they make big movies and make big money off of those movies. Females are on screen as superheroes, as law enforcement, military leaders, political leaders, business executives. Every real and made up role you can imagine, women are in there. Good, love it. Absolutely love it. It goes from amazing things like right above my computer, Aloy from Horizon Forbidden West and Zero Dawn. Love the character. I got a Japanese style print that I need to have framed, as well as my display poster. But then there's, you know, oh, and one of my favorites, Buffy, one of the earliest in my, you know, childhood, you know, there in the 90s, of super strong female characters that I was into from the get-go, from the movie, you know, not just the show. But then you get some awful ones like 2016 Ghostbusters and Miss Marvel, which sucked because her first 2.5 episodes were really good. It's the same for males. And you got the great Iron Man 1 and the absolute garbage that is Venom. It's a good thing, right, Manny, to have that kind of balance and that look, that context, you know? It's mostly been good. I think some people forget that men also have had to deal with some negative stereotypes. And it's not saying that we had it worse. It's, again, context. We're supposed to be making everything better for everyone as we move on. We had the negativity of body images. I would never look like Rambo. Most men can't unless they're trying to get ready for a role. I can't be Rambo, Conan. I can't be the Terminator, Punisher, and G.I. Joe, He-Man, wrestlers, Manny, wrestlers. You know, that's all stuff that are generally as unattainable as Barbie or the Baywatch actresses back in the day, right? Without doing really bad things to your body. Stereotypes, violence, and aggression, all of that happens. Dim-witted husbands on sitcoms. Like, yeah, we had some negativity too. But how does that all connect to yesterday? It's just context, guys. Just context. Context on how we can find that there are some people in some projects basically having gone from the bullied to the bullies. It's not every project. It's not every female-led thing. And it's not only females doing it. It's upsetting when people are looking basically for a way of getting back instead of making things better, especially when people then support it and they say, hey, because some males in the past did bad things, it's okay for others, in this case females, to do negative things to a whole new generation of males that had nothing to do with the original perceived or actual transgressions. We got to be negative to that. DC, it's an endless cycle. I mean, I can't go back. I did not design Barbie. I didn't hire Suzanne Summers to be the stereotypical blonde bimbo. But yet, you know, me and my son we have to pay for that. And look, I'm not looking for sympathy because it doesn't really, I'm not that influenced, but I hate hypocrisy and I hate vengeance. I hate that two wrongs trying to make them right. The past was the worst. It always will be. It always will be. Today is worse than tomorrow for many groups. We have to understand that there's a difference between adding to or replacing. There's a time and a place for negative stereotypes in both comedy and drama, satire. I'm not saying we should end any or all of this. I'm putting into context how some people could be upset by watching certain projects treat certain groups in certain ways. I mean, that's kind of the point. There's no hating women here. There's no anti-woman here. I don't know, man. I just feel that we're not allowed to be critical of individuals or individual projects. It has to be all or nothing. We are either with them or against them, and that's not good. That's not how we get progress. That's not progressive, and I don't mean in the modern political sense. I mean traditional progressive sense. You know, let's be better, guys. Let's stay away from personal attacks, especially considering my wife seems to be very possessive of my penis. If you have been in the comments for yesterday's video, let's be better. I don't know, Manny. How do you feel? Do you hate women? Are you anti-woman?
I never have been, and I could really care less what anyone else thinks, especially in the context of what I had said, which was that just basically that the quality of Marvel has gone down regardless of
that
gender.
Is very, very true.
The problem,
very true.
The overall problem is star power. It just does not have the star power that it used to has, and the quality.
100%.
If you think otherwise, I really don't care. I'm not gonna. Kyle, you do you. I'm not gonna spend a 10-minute monologue on trying to defend my position because I got better things to do.
No, yeah, not so much defend a position. Like I said, I like context, and again, my whole thing, I'm not out here butthurt because there is a negative character, a negative male character. I do think that there's a legit danger to younger kids, as there was with young females back in the day, and I hate hypocrisy more than anything in this world, just about. And I know that being human, I'm guilty of occasionally falling into where I've said something in the past and I've changed, but maybe I haven't really discussed it enough between those 2 points that it might come off as hypocrisy. But people do grow and change, and that's a good thing. That again is a step in progress. I just wanted to give some context to it because people hear us bitch and complain about random topics on this show because we cover so many different things. You know, that's the reason we named it the Daily Cup of Genre, or I did. It's my show. But yeah, man, it's just it's a legit issue when the bullied become the bullies, and it happens in politics. It happens in the military. Like this is not an isolated entertainment thing. This is almost like a life lesson. You know, I think even the Batman did a really good job of talking about vengeance and the vicious cycle that it creates. You know, at the end of it, he's talking about how vile vengeance and revenge seeking can be. I don't know, man. I think things like She-Hulk are a good example of that. So,
She-Hulk is not that good. Period.
It really isn't. It really isn't. But neither was Falcon and Winter Soldier overall. neither really was Moon Knight. Was it the same caliber as any
I
Phase
liked
2 or 3
I liked
things?
Moon Knight. I liked Moon Knight more than I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but yeah, that's fine. But would you? I mean, gun to your head, if I was like, "Hey, Manny, do you want to watch Iron Man 1 or Moon Knight over again?"
That's not even fair though, because we're talking about a movie budget versus a TV budget.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
The early Iron Man.
It doesn't.
Budgets don't make or break a movie all the time. You can have an amazing story and acting and writing with a lower budget.
Yeah, but you can't compare the production value of a film.
I just meant enjoyability.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. WandaVision,
Yeah, they were fine.
WandaVision was good. I loved Loki. Moon Knight was a breath of fresh air, and I mean Falcon and the Winter Soldier started off well, except that it just kept trying to hammer you that message, and it just didn't work for me. Hawkeye was a waste of time. Yeah, that one I'll agree that was completely a waste of time. It's a male show, by the way. Kate Bishop was great in that. I loved Kate Bishop in that one.
Kate was awesome.
I thought Yelena's character was wasted,
and spent too long eating. And I pushed the wrong button. Spent too long eating mac and cheese.
And then I thought Kingpin's character was wasted. And I don't know. They're just going down this really weird rabbit hole where it's like, fuck it, we're just gonna put this out.
Would you rather watch Thor: Love and Thunder, or would you rather watch Thor: Ragnarok?
Oh, Ragnarok, hands down.
There you go.
Yeah,
there's a good apples to apples comparison.
Yeah,
same actors, directors, and everything, and it's both movies.
Yeah. So when it comes to kind of responding to comments like that, I don't even waste my time, because obviously you're not smart enough to get the context of the fact that the product is bad, not necessarily the people. Like there's nothing wrong with saying that Shuri's not ready to be the same caliber character as Black Panther, or
even wondering if an actor or actress can carry a lead role.
Yeah, I mean it's not the actor's fault either.
No,
they put
all got to start somewhere.
They put these main characters on a huge pedestal, and the problem is that their shadows are just too big. It's gonna be Wonder Woman is gonna have the same problem with whoever replaces Gal in the future. I think so, because she herself has done a wonderful job as the character. So,
do you think they'll bring in a Wonder Girl? Will Earth even be around that long?
Yeah, because I don't know what they're. But my point is that replacing that star power is what's difficult, and it's their own fault for their success, and then for thinking that you can just. That the character is bigger than the person behind it. Because is Iron Man really that popular without Robert Downey Jr.?
You see, I would. It kind of depends on the character, because that's a good. So one of the big things about Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the idea that T'Challa is bigger than Chadwick Boseman. Like the character of T'Challa is more important than the actor that played him, which is why a lot of people really wanted T'Challa to be recast instead of killed off, and replaced by anyone. Jonesy over on Breaking Geek Radio also brought up a point in the field of pro recast, because of a rumor that T'Challa fathered a child before he passes, right before he dies, and he brought up, that brings into the MCU a stereotype here in the West of the fatherless black child being raised by a single mother. And he mentioned how important it was to see the father-son dynamic between T'Challa and T'Chaka, his father, the king before he dies, and in the spiritual realm. And he said missing out on the next generation of that, T'Challa to his son, like that would be a huge miss. And at what do we get in return for that? Potentially, we have not seen the movie. We are all hoping that it is good, but you potentially get a stereotype, and then you get a female taking over and replacing that strong black male role model that so many young men and boys were looking up to since the movie hit a few years ago, since Civil War back in 2016 even. I'm not black, but I am a dad of a son, and I know father-son relationships are incredibly important to both have and see. So I can respect it from that point. But to your point, Iron Man, completely different character. Yet Robert Downey Jr. made him 100%. Yes, comic book readers. I was reading comics too. I know Iron Man's an original Avenger and all of that tracking, but there's a reason why he didn't belong to Sony, Universal, or Fox when the movie was made. There's that no one was interested. So it's much like a female-led project. Manny being good or bad, being a bully or not, is all case by case.
Yeah, it like and regardless of which way you go on it, that's still an opinion. And I mean, other characters have been cast, no problem. I mean, this was just kind of a circumstance where a lot of people felt very invested and had very strong opinions about it. A shout out to Variety for putting out the very next day the great article of who should recast Chadwick Boseman, which was a horrible taste, which they took down immediately. It was them, right? I don't remember. My bad if it wasn't, but I'm pretty sure it was one of those big outlets. And that was interesting to see. Anyway, yeah, whatever. I have to go through too many films and movies to be swayed by the fact that I have a bias towards one half of the genders that are available on Earth. So when it's funny because I thought about it for only a few minutes yesterday, but when I go into a movie, is that really what I'm looking for? Is it a guy or a gal? Like, no, that's definitely not the first thing. Hell, nope. I'm very excited to go watch the first final girl have her epic moment in just about 10 days when she fights Michael Myers. That's gonna be that's gonna be hopefully epic, and it's gonna be great. Because I think this series has done well. I still have a sour taste from watching the Rob Zombie ones.
The first one's fine.
They're not fine.
Fine.
So there's that, and then there's like there was nothing wrong with, like, for example, Wonder Woman, except for Patty Jenkins directing the sequel.
84 was atrocious.
84 was horrible, and it wasn't Gal's fault. It wasn't,
that is by her own words. By her own words, that is Patty Jenkins's baby. Her choices.
And yeah, so that's how it is. On another topic that's actually more important, I can give you some reactions to Werewolf by Night, which I watched last night.
Oh, okay.
And
that hits on Friday this week, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Does it live on Friday?
I think it hits like Disney Plus on Friday.
Well, oh man, I should know this.
Yep, October 7th.
And then I do also I can give you a reaction to Hellraiser,
Okay.
which I've also watched.
So tell us, Manny, how did you feel about Werewolf by Night?
So it was a secret screening at Fantastic Fest in Texas over the weekend. It got these overwhelming positive reactions about how it's a throwback to the classics. I was talking about the 1930s monsters, that it's such a different take for Marvel, blah blah blah. It's, you know, there's gore and all this other yada yada yada. I was very excited to watch this because also I love Gael. I've watched a lot of his films, surprisingly growing up, despite the fact that some of them are very adult oriented. But my dad, obviously, we're Hispanic, so we watched Hispanic films, and he's great. Gael Garcia Bernal. He's one of the actors that I'm familiar with. So seeing him in this role was fun. It's gonna be exciting. Unfortunately,
oh no,
it was
not good.
It was. We finished watching it, and it was like, all right. So, what was so special about it? What was so? Oh, and then it's plagued by the fact that it's less than an hour long, and that's it. That's all it is. It's less than an hour long. The scenes are very, very well detailed and methodically, expressed, I guess, or whatever. So they do take their time with scenes. That's a problem. So you have less than an hour to tell the whole story. So you're just kind of like, for me, especially knowing that it was less than an hour and watching these early scenes just kind of keep on going. I was like, okay, if this was like a one and a half hours, 2 hours long, fine. But we need to get moving because you guys have not pushed this forward. You guys have we're not. You guys
you want a story to be pushed forward, Manny? Can't you just enjoy something for what it is? Maybe this was meant to be a 55-minute long episodic thing, but without more episodes.
Like, yeah, but the thing is, I was like, you're not gonna be able to tell this.
Yeah,
you're gonna rush to the ending.
That's rough. That sucks. That sucks.
And then this may be me nitpicking, but it is supposed to be done in the style of old black and white films. But it's 100. Like I understand they were trying to find this happy medium, but if you're gonna try to make it look like an old film, make it look like an old film, because you cannot start blending, because they have like little burn marks and scratches that'll pass on the screen every now and then, like if it's old film.
Right.
But like the resolution of it is so good.
It's all still digital.
And
you guys, what you're saying is they should have filmed it on film.
And the lighting is so good on it that that I'm like, I when it happens, it kind of takes me out of it, because the blend is too good. Like, it looks too good for me to believe that this is an old style. Like, you should just not do the burn marks. Just kind of let it be black and white if it's just gonna be black and white. So it was okay. Like, I wish it was longer, and I think maybe it was overhyped for me. So
tired of saying it was okay for Marvel when I used to say it was great. I used to come out of almost every movie saying that was great, and now
overwhelming people think it's the best thing they've. But then I'm kind of used to hearing that from people regardless.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, and I think it's a bigger disappointment for me, because I wanted it to be so good. I thought it was going to be this epic horror piece.
And I hate being
but I will say they did not when they cut off an arm, they cut off an arm.
Nice.
And things like that. So, but the effect of it is a lot less because it's black and white. So so yes, you do have the option of being a little bit gorier, but it doesn't seem like it because it's black and white. So it's, because the color has a lot to do with it. Yeah, 100% middle of the pack. I'd say it's a B- at best.
At best. See, like I said,
that's my take on that one.
I'll watch it on Friday. Nick and I will review it for Marvel Multiverse
and he'll tell
Mayhem.
You it's the best thing that's come out of Marvel.
I don't know. Nick is
the last episode of She-Hulk.
Nick is weird on some of these things. He might not like. He might not. I don't know. He does like art to come off as artsy fartsy every now and then. That's why we have the hoity-toity room in our Discord for Janet and when Nick pulls out his film school degree.
And then it doesn't help also that I just watched The Mummy and Bride of Frankenstein in theaters.
You mentioned that,
and I kind of see that the contrast between the films, and I get it. Like it's a new film, and it's fine. That's why it's a B- because I still enjoyed parts of it, but for the praise that it's getting right now, it's like nah, it's not that it's not that great.
Yeah,
it's good. It's not that great. As for Hellraiser, the assessment is that it's not my kind of movie. I'm not, like when we've talked about it, body horror and I do not mix well. And then I think that for fans of the franchise, I think it could have been gorier, a little bit gorier, and that might be an issue for you crazy folks. And then my other thing with it was very slow up until like an hour, and then it picks up. And at that point, I was kind of bored. But then it picks up, and then we kind of move along.
Yeah.
The actress who plays Pinhead is great. And the fact that they switched from male to female really doesn't affect it at all. As a matter of fact, it actually might make it better in this case, just because I don't know, she has just a hair more personality. I know you're not really supposed to have too much personality as a Cenobite, but right. But just it just works a little bit better, I feel, than the original.
Brian from over at AVR, huge Hellraiser fan, is very, very excited to see this when it hits. That also comes out soon, right?
Friday also.
Yep.
So yeah, so that one, I think that one's more of a solid B, like a higher solid B. Okay. But I can't give it more because number one, it's just not my kind of movie. Yeah. But yeah. It does enough to where it can introduce the casual fan to Hellraiser and maybe checking out some of the older stuff. If you end up liking it, it's just really slow at the beginning. Matter of fact, I remember texting one of my buddies and he's like, "Don't worry about it. It actually picks up at about an hour." And again, you need a little bit of setup. The characters are very well made. It looks pretty good, but I think that Brian will be one of the ones who'll be like, I could have been a little gorier.
I'm always down with the gore.
I'm definitely not. I'm
squeamish, Manny. Are you
squeamish? It's funny because the things that are like regular horror, like slasher stuff and like whatever, Halloween, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But kind of that torture kind of thing that they do there is really not. Yeah. Really not for me.
Don't watch the guinea pig movies. Don't watch the audition. Stay away from that.
That's fine. And then also, big shout out to Universal's marketing team for not giving us all the kills this time on the Halloween Ends trailers.
Oh yeah.
I think they've done a way better job at just showcasing the final battle between Laurie and Michael. So and instead of here's every fun killer.
Here's Michael killing every that one for Halloween Kills was disappointing. Well, much disappointing, much like ending this show. Anything else, Manny? No? Good.
Fun news out of Europe today. They have
watch your words.
European Parliament has voted to force Apple to switch over to USB chargers.
Oh yeah.
Headphones. Yeah, that's wild and also kind of helpful.
And they just shoved out the 14s in the US still with Thunderbolt, and even though they've removed the SIM cards in the US, they literally put a little plastic box in there. They didn't fill the space with anything beneficial.
I love how they
way to go, Apple.
I love how, like, and this is me because I mean that's all I have is Apple.
Yeah.
They always pretend like they're the first to the party to everything, and it's funny. Just it's like
they like to set
Galaxy
trends.
That, like
ages.
They think,
in the past.
and then sometimes like their innovation. I remember one time their innovation was new headphones. It was like, wait, how does that help my phone? Hold on.
You don't need a head.
Just make my battery last longer. Like, just do that, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, they could have put a headphone jack. Could have maybe added battery space. They could have done a lot of things for that 14, taking out the
nothing useful.
Nothing useful.
That's why.
Anyways,
that's really why. I mean, you could, like, I went from an iPhone 6s all the way to a 10 years later, and then now I have a 13. And that's actually due to the fact that I needed a more capable phone for my job.
I've only used Apple when it was required, like in schools, and when the Army gave me an iPhone for the recruiting gig. Anyways, guys, it's been a lot of fun. It's been an interesting show to say the least. Let us know what you think down. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Check out lrmonline.com for all of the amazing stories you're seeing on screen. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're just listening on your favorite podcast app, we've got written reviews, news articles, takes on rumors and leaks, celebrity interviews, of course, all of the podcasts, and they go up on Google and Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, and of course follow us and leave some reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts, because while they only make up like less than 20% of the freaking market, everyone seems to really value them. So yeah, leave us some reviews. We appreciate it. Tell us what we can do better. Tell us what we're doing good. Tell us what else you would like to see here on the channel. We've got Marvel Multiverse Mayhem finishing up She-Hulk this week and next, along with Werewolf by Night. The Cantina's doing Andor. Anime-Versal Reviews will be doing Spy Family and Chainsaw Man here during the fall. We've got Review of the Rings. We've got Daily COG, Breaking Geek Radio, AVR Squared, Genre Shot, Trailer Reaction, so much more here on the Genreverse Podcast Network and YouTube channel. So yeah, what'd you ooh at, Manny?
We're getting a teaser trailer for Super Mario movie.
Oh yeah,
on Thursday from Nintendo Direct.
Yep. I think it's coinciding with something at New York Comic Con too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. It's been fun. We'll see you next time. Bye.